Hey everybody, welcome back to today's video. If you guys are new to the channel, I am Tanner Holmes and I race outlaw karts and sprint cars all over the West Coast, and I document it for my YouTube channel. Now today, a lot of you are going to be pretty happy because I'm going to be making an iRacing video. Now iRacing is probably the #1 and really the only video game that I play on a day-to-day basis. I probably play it 7 days a week, which is not always the best. But anyway, iRacing, if you're unfamiliar with the game, it is an online motorsports simulation, and it's pretty much the closest we have to real life racing on a video game because it is so realistic. All the tracks are laser scanned, so every single bump, every single rut, whatever, all the walls are in the exact same spot. Everything in the video game is identical to real life. And some of you guys are in the situation where you literally get to race the same tracks. You get to race on a local scale if maybe you're close to Eldora, Knoxville, Lernerville, Fairbury. There's a ton of dirt tracks on there, and there's even more asphalt tracks. So you can run midgets, you can run wing sprint cars, you can run non-wing cars. On the asphalt side, you can run modifieds, late models, the cup cars. So there's just so many different cars and series you can try out, and it's all on your computer, so you never have to leave your room. And I think that's what's so cool about iRacing and why it is so popular in the racing world, because it is literally the closest to what we have to actually sitting in the seat, and it's much cheaper. So today we're going to be talking about making ruts in iRacing. Now there's not a setting or there's nothing you can do to just automatically make a track rough in the dirt side of things. Now the reason I'm making this video, because like I said, I play iRacing a lot. And so after you play, a good amount, since they don't have a ton of dirt tracks, I believe they maybe have right around 10, at some point you kind of start racing the same track over and over again, and the lines and the racing is all the same. Versus when I go to Cottage Grove maybe 10 times a year, the track is probably going to be different at least 8 of those times. It's going to have a different grip lane around the bottom, a different grip lane around the top. The lines are going to be different. You're going to be able to change it up so much. Whereas in iRacing, if you set a track to a certain percentage, or you're kind of just going to get the same thing over and over again. Now when my buddies and I make ruts in our servers, we call them track prep servers. So if you ever hear me refer to track prep, it's us making ruts and holes in the racetrack. Now we like to do this because it gives the track a unique characteristic, kind of to when we're actually racing on a Saturday night at a local dirt track. There's gonna be some holes, it's not always gonna be smooth. And so pretty much, we'll put them in certain places to make the racing different. And really, like for example, Fairbury can get right around the tires or it can go right around the top. We did some track prep in our server and kind of ran it in manually how we would and added some holes everywhere. And the line went to a crossover line. We could run slider line. We could run right through the middle, as well as run the bottom and as well as run the top. So when we do this kind of stuff, it adds just so much stuff to the game and makes it, like what we would do on a Saturday night. So that is why we like to do that. Now here's my little 3-minute tutorial, kind of just showing you a little bit of footage of us doing some track prep to our track and all the holes we created, and then what it does when you actually race on it. So when creating ruts on iRacing, there's a few things you have to do to be successful. The first one is you gotta back up against a tire, a wall, another race car, something that'll pretty much make it so you can stay in place and your tires will spin at the same time. Now when you do this, you're pretty much just gonna dig a hole in the racetrack, and this is how you create the ruts. It's very simple. Now the best are usually formed when you back up against other race cars, and if you do it correctly, you could almost form a huge pile around one car or around many. And what it's gonna do is when those rear tires are spinning, it's gonna dig up the dirt and it's gonna make a dirt pile in the direction that you're pointed, and where your rear tires are is where it's gonna develop that rut. Now these small dirt piles that are caused from the ruts, they're gonna make the track more patchy. It's gonna give some grip to some areas, it's gonna keep some other parts of the track slicker, but eventually it'll burn off and kind of give the track a unique character. Now this shot is good because it shows that right rear literally just digging into the racetrack. That is the hole being made as I'm backed up against a street stock. Now when creating these holes, we usually sit there from anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute and a half, depending on how deep we want the hole and how many cars we have. Here's a shot of us creating some at Fairbury. It's really simple. All you gotta do is back up into another race car. You have to use the gas and the brake perfectly to kind of keep it steady, and the car usually you're backing up into definitely needs to hold the brake. But once you kind of figure it out, it's simple. You get as many buddies online as possible, or as many people in a server, and you can try it out yourself and really make a racetrack unique and similar to real life, because in real life, not every racetrack is gonna be super smooth. This next clip is from Williams Grove in turns 3 and 4 when we created created a few ruts right against the fence, and this is going to show you how much it upsets the car and how deep you can really make these holes. After this, I'm going to play a few clips from the in-car footage from our Fairbury track prep server so you guys can really get a good look at what it's like racing with these ruts and how it bounces around the car. So that was a quick 3-minute tutorial on how to make ruts in iRacing. It's very simple, and I recommend you guys try it out for yourselves. All you have to do, maybe host a private server and go in there, do a test session, but do not go in someone's random hosted and try it out without asking for permission. They'll probably end up kicking you or removing you. So try it out on your own first with a few friends, and then maybe take it into your own server, and when you make the rules, obviously you can do it, and make sure you invite me. One of my favorite things to do now, once we kind of discovered how to do this, we weren't the first people to discover it. I had another buddy show a buddy, and he showed a buddy, and he showed me kinda, so I don't take credit for finding out how to do this. But what we like to do is we like to do a track prep server, run in the racetrack a bunch too, and create all these different lines, and then we run no mirrors, so it's pretty much about as close as it gets. You know, you can't see who's behind you. You have to use your headset and your hearing to be able to hear where the cars are at, and there, you know, so you're not wrecking people or car highing people. And really, it provides a lot of great racing because people drive much smarter when they can't see what's behind them. But I'll see you guys all in the next one. Thank you for watching, and let me know how making ruts and holes on iRacing goes for you. See you in the next one. Deuces.